In the world of Street Fighter V, a new organization has emerged, the Neo Shadaloo. Led by Ed, a former experiment of M. Bison, Neo Shadaloo is a powerful force to be reckoned with. With their unique abilities and fierce determination, Neo Shadaloo seeks to take down the original Shadaloo and everything they left behind. But the original Shadaloo is not easily defeated. Even in the shadows, they still remain a powerful force in the Street Fighter universe, and will stop at nothing to maintain their grip on power. Will Neo Shadaloo emerge victorious? Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Street Fighter verse. To start with this video, I want to give you guys an insight of the two main Neo Shadaloo characters, Ed and Falk. Let's start with Ed. Ed was kidnapped by the evil organization Shadaloo at a young age and experimented to become a possible vessel for their leader, M. Bison. However, he was later rescued by Balrog, and the two formed a bond as they traveled together. Ed began to suffer from nightmares as he prematurely aged into a teenager, and a fortune teller warned him of difficult times ahead. After the fall of Shadaloo and the death of Bison, Ed and Balrog took refuge in New Zealand. However, Ed continued to be plagued by nightmares and was almost possessed by the spirit of Bison. He fought off the possession and left Balrog, fearing that he would eventually get hurt if they stayed together. Months later, Ed had grown into a muscular young adult and formed a new organization with logos similar to Shadaloo. He became the commander of this group and set out on his own path with several new companions by his side, which will go deeper forward in the video. During the events of A Shadow Falls, Ed helped Balrog take Zangief's control key, but it was later taken by Ibuki during the first infiltration of the Shadaloo base. After Bison's defeat by Ryu and the destruction of Shadaloo, Ed was seen walking away with Balrog, presumably continuing his own path. What is his involvement with Falk? Well, Falk was a weapon, a tool for Shadaloo's twisted schemes. Her days were spent in grueling training, pushing her body and mind to the brinks of exhaustion in order to achieve the perfection demanded by her cruel captors. But despite her tireless efforts, she could never escape the nightmares that haunted her every waking moment. Dreams of M. Bison, the monster who had created her, and the fear that one day she too would be consumed by the psycho power that flowed through her veins. It was in the depths of this despair that Ed appeared like a ray of hope amidst the darkness. He had come to rescue her, to save her from the endless torment that had become her life, and with his help, they fled from Shadaloo together, determined to find others like them who were also needed of help. As they journeyed together, Falk couldn't help but notice that Ed's movements were somewhat inefficient, as if he had never received proper training. Yet despite this, he had still managed to rescue her, and had proven himself to be a fierce and determined fighter. They eventually founded Neo Shadaloo. What is Neo Shadaloo? The remnants of Shadaloo has caused untold amounts of suffering to countless individuals, and the scars it had left behind were deep and enduring. Ed and Falk had both experienced firsthand the horrors of being used as pawns in the organization's twisted schemes, and they knew all too well the pain and trauma that Shadaloo had inflicted on so many. Determined to make the difference in the world and right the wrongs of their past, Ed and Falk founded Neo Shadaloo with a singular goal in mind: to find and help those who were victims of Shadaloo's depraved experiments. They were determined to seek out those who had been cast aside and left to suffer, offering them a safe haven and the chance to reclaim their lives. Their motivations were pure and selfless, and their passion for helping others burned brightly. They had no desire for power or conquest, no thirst for vengeance or retribution. Their sole focus was on easing the pain of those who had been wronged and on building a brighter future for all. And who are the members of Neo Shadaloo? Well, M. Bison divided his abilities into each member of Neo Shadaloo. Whether or not he knew he'd confront Ryu one day, or that he wants to continue fighting as a fighting king, even after death, is unknown. Ed inherited M. Bison's ability to eject psycho power. Falk inherited M. Bison's ability to inject psycho power into objects. Baba inherited M. Bison's wisdom and high intelligence. The unnamed member inherited M. Bison's ability to teleport. Let us explain psycho power and why M. Bison might still be a villain in the Street Fighter VI saga. M. Bison utilizes what is called the psycho power. By definition, psycho power has been described as the dark side of soul power, a power demonstrated by Rose. Psycho power feeds off of the fear, anger, and the hatred of others. This energy can also affect the skin, body color, and hair of people, as shown in the case of Violent Ken and Bison. Let's see what other factors this power brings. This energy also grants him the ability to be intangible, meaning being unable to be touched or grasped, not having physical presence. Flight, float, teleport, use telekinesis, soul manipulation, though he can only possess another user's body if they are exposed to psycho power and control the minds of other beings, like the dolls for example. In the ending of Ed in Street Fighter V, we see him being disturbed by the presence of M. Bison as a ghostly figure presence, aka Phantom Bison. This is the form M. Bison takes after his body gets destroyed. In this stage, his consciousness is living in a bodiless form, sort of like a ghost through his psycho power. Despite the lack of physical presence, his will and power remain intact. He has an encounter with Menat, which she tells him, "I guess I forgot, but you two will have some rough times ahead. Good luck." This could imply many things. Maybe she is talking about Abel, or maybe she's just talking about Falk, since he is closer to her. In my opinion, she could be referring to Bison, since he is basically a manifestation of the psycho power. Also, does Ed lead the Neo Shadowloo? What is the Neo Shadowloo exactly, though? The organization's goals and intentions, and their ties to the fallen Shadowloo are, according to Falk's character story, is to find and help those who were victims of Shadowloo's experiments. It has been stressed repeatedly in storylines that both Ed and Falk utterly hated Shadowloo, due to both being former replacements for M. Bison. The group is considered to be very much against the original Shadowloo, and benign in motivation. My question is, how many so-called failed experiments did the Shadowloo leave behind? Could this be a plan from Bison to mind control the new Shadowloo and regroup all of his experiments into one big army? And how did he divide these powers? Well, Ed inherited M. Bison's ability to eject psycho power. Falk inherited M. Bison's ability to inject psycho power into objects. Baba inherited M. Bison's wisdom and high intelligence. An oversized gorilla who is smart? He kind of reminds me of someone. And the unnamed member inherited M. Bison's ability to teleport. You may be asking, what is the reason for the division of his powers though? Well, this is what Nakayama had to say. There is a reason for splitting up Bison's abilities. Maybe he knew he was going to have a confrontation with Ryu, or maybe he wanted to come back in some way and continue as a king of fighting, even if his body is destroyed. If you see the ending of A Shadow Falls in Street Fighter V, Ryu engages with a Hadouken, filled with the power of nothingness, to apparently destroy Bison. We have to keep something in mind. Ryu was barely learning the technique, or at least had a grasp of it. I really doubt that blow had the power or experience to destroy Bison completely, since mid-game, Ryu was still trying to control the Dark Hado. Just look at the grin and laugh M. Bison gives to Ryu after he gets his body destroyed. This scene alone leaves the door open for his possible return. Also, as you know, Fang is Bison's right-hand man. In his ending, he states that, "I will eliminate all obstacles, prepare for battle, and help Lord Bison conquer this world." Fang is not dead. Fang knows everything about his experiments and hidden bases all around the world, which makes him an ideal key for his return in Street Fighter VI. This is not the first time Bison has had to regroup his body to come out stronger. In our opinion, we feel that Bison just played the waiting game, stepped back, and regrouped. M. Bison waited patiently till Street Fighter VI to arise stronger with the mind-controlled Neo Shadowloo at his disposal, Fang at his side, and the likely experiments he had stored all over the world as part of a master plan that we still don't know of. Do you think M. Bison could return in Street Fighter VI? Let us know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. This has been your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage. Our new Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of the Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel, because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.